Okay, here's what I've been working on. I've removed my old subfloor. You can see right here what I'm standing on is the old existing hardwood in this house. So it's in pretty bad shape, but I'm not going to do anything about this room. The areas I've been working on have been over here in the hallway, the one bedroom over here, and by the bathroom, and then over in this area. So what I've done is, about 2 years ago, I tiled my bathroom floor, and it turned out really nice. It's the first tile job I've ever done, but it was the third time I've ripped that floor up because first time floor was unlevel, it was moldy from the previous owners. They had a bunch of water damage on it, so I put vinyl tiles down. That worked okay for about a year or so, but I had idiot tenants and they would let the water out of the shower. You know, one of them was obese, and so the toilet drain rotted out, so I had to rip that subfloor up. So anyway, third time's the charm. Ripped it up, stripped down to the joist, leveled the joist out, and then I put this tile on. Okay, so now I have one level in my house. The floor's not level in this house anywhere. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken a laser level right here and I've shot a level all the way across into every single one of these rooms. So you can see right here this little laser dot on the wall right there. So I take my laser dot, I make a chalk line all the way around the perimeter of these rooms. Then I take that chalk line and I go from end to end. I cut my joists down following that chalk line. So now I have a completely laser leveled floor. I can put my new tile in here. It was really bad. Back here you can see how bad it was. See how I've cut into these joists, these older joists? We're looking at about 2 inches, 2.5 inches from there on the other end to nothing. Okay, I had a big bed in here, and whenever I went to assemble the bed, it looked horrible because the floor was so out of level. So I cut through all the old hardwood, and then I cut through the subfloor because it was that 3/4 inch plank board, and it was starting to dry rot. So I got rid of that, and if I kind of look down here, you can see what I'm talking about. This here's the that's the existing hardwood, and then that's that 3/4 planking. So in addition to that, by cutting down my joists, I was afraid that that would make my floor weaker, and I have to have a certain load deflection for tile. Otherwise, when people come in here, start jumping around, it's going to cause vibrations in the floor, and that's what's going to crack your tile. So you can see here, what I've done to remedy that is I dropped a beam in my crawl space, 23-foot beam, just a double 2x6, and I put 3 columns down, and I put spot footings under each one of those columns. So now, when you walk across this floor, it's not bouncing, it's not sagging. And then in addition to putting the beam under the joists, I put new wood up alongside all this old wood. I probably didn't need to do that, but I thought, what better time, since I've got my subfloor stripped off and I've got my crawl space opened up, what better time? So I put a brand new 2x6 along these old 2x10s. The old 2x10s are in pretty decent shape, but what I've done here is, even if these 2x10s completely rotted out, my 2x6s resting on this new beam should still be able to hold up the floor, because I'm less than 8 foot on my span right here. And then to my next beam, you can kind of see it. You see that cinder block pillar right there. Behind that insulation, that's to my next beam right there. That's an existing house beam. Well, a floor beam. So I'm less than 8 foot there as well. So anyway, had to do some creative blocking because on a regular floor, you sheet your floor first and then you put all your walls on top of it. Well, I'm not going to rip out all my walls and tear my house down just to put a new floor on. So I know that I've weakened it. I've weakened the floor and the walls laterally by cutting it out, but then what I've done, I took these blocks and I went right into my rim joist and nailed it in there. So I've transferred those lateral forces into the rim joist, so it's almost as strong as if it were a regular house, and I had my sheeting going out over on top of the rim joist. So that was the only solution I could think of. But for a level floor, it's worth it. And then I had to put blocks everywhere along the perimeter so I won't have any edges of my sheet that aren't nailed. I got to fix my cold air return there. I'll do that later. But anyway, I had to rip out all the insulation just so I could get in that floor and work on it. It took me, about a week to do all this just because I'm the only one doing it, and I don't have anyone that can stay up here and cut blocks to me, so I have to go over that beam every time I want to nail something. Get down in there on my hands and knees and get under there. So it took a long time, but I mean, it's solid. It's ready for sheeting. Put that nice 3/4 inch tongue and groove down, and I'll have me a nice solid floor here. So any kind of tile I put on there, it's not going to crack on me. And another thing I did, I was talking about the lateral forces of the floor. I took these blocks that are going perpendicular to the joist and I put them every 2 feet and I nailed them into that rim joist out there, so my floor isn't just floating without grabbing anything on the perimeter. It's tied in all the way around and I'm completely level. I've got some cuts, because I did this all with a scale saw and a Sawzall. I've got some cuts, I don't know if you can even tell from, but I got a little bit of wave in some of the cuts. Like right there, you can kind of see it, how my old wood's a little bit lower than my new wood. That's going to be negligible once I sheet it, because you put a flat surface up on top of that, it's going to flatten itself out. And then in addition, I'm also putting backer board on top of that, and then a layer of tile with thin sets. So between all those layers, whatever little discrepancies I have will be evened out and they'll be hidden once I put the tile on. So here's my new subfloor. I would like to do this to my entire house, but right now I've only got time and money to do it to these 2 bedrooms. But after having this done, I'm going to be able to sleep better at night, not worrying about how I'm going to fix my horribly unlevel floor.